Hey, Shalom, Akim. This is Yabatazah. I want to give all praises and glory and honor to Yahweh Shema Shai. Double honor to the elders of Great Millstone. Much love and respect to all you brothers out there doing the work of sincerity and truth, striving for the hopeful elect, enduring all afflictions and seeking out your own salvation with fear and trembling. All right. I'm a Hebrew Israelite. I'm coming out here to prophesy the downfall of America. You know, to let the Negro Latinos and Native American Indians know that you are the true Hebrew Israelites, and go into the scriptures and go into a certain history and things of that nature, and to give proper understanding to the people, you know, to the listener on the videos, you know, to understand what time we're in. But I want to just jump into, you know, speaking about certain, you know, you got a lot of different people coming in to knowing that they're Hebrew Israelites. You know, that they're understanding that they're the people of the Most High, but the understanding of what it is, you know, because you got a lot of Jake that they like to take shit for granted, you know, they because you have to understand that being here in America, that's how you're raised up. You're raised up to have everything to your disposal. You know, you can do whatever you want, whenever you want, go to it whenever you want, you know, put it up when you want, and think it's always a game or playing and shit like that. But it's not the case here, man. Being in the truth, it has come with a lot of reconstructing your mentality, your spirit, you know, readjusting, realigning your spirit towards Yahweh Shema Shai, okay? Because prior, and then in your prior lives, you don't know what the fuck you were doing. Prior lives, but in your prior life here on the earth, right? You were doing all kinds of fucked up shit. Okay? And that shit can easily come back into you and sway you from the spirit of Yahweh Shema Shai. That's one thing we always say. You have to be properly aligned with the spirit of Yahweh Shema Shai. You don't just pave your own way and shape yourself into a certain way. And there's a lot of understandings, a lot of breakdowns that people acquire through this journey. But there's only one spirit, one baptism, one doctrine. Okay? Matter of fact, I'm gonna bring that out. Alright. This is Ephesians 4:1. I therefore, the prisoner of the Lord Yahweh, beseech you that you walk worthy of the vocation wherewith you are called. Right? To walk worthy, meaning to be you know, chosen, basically, because in order to be worthy you have to be chose. Okay, to be found worthy of something, they're selecting you and giving you this wisdom, knowledge, and understanding to walk by. They have their entrusted you with this particular instruction for you to relay to the people as it was relayed to you, not to switch it up, change it, or to put your own twist to it. Because this thing comes from up on high, Yahweh Shema Shai, man. Okay? It says, with all lowliness and meekness, with long suffering, forbearing one another in love. Right? So with all lowliness and meekness. So you have to be humble when you've received this wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. Now when you first come in, you're gonna have this zeal, you're gonna be puffed up, you're gonna be, you know, like I'm gonna make a name for myself in Israel. You're gonna be having all these mentalities, but not realizing that that's vainglory. So when you come into this thing, you had to adjust that. You had to stabilize that mentality, because that's your old man trying to come back. This is not a competition. Being in this truth. All right, you can gain all the scriptures and pull out scriptures versus an elder, right? That doesn't mean that you exceed that elder, because that elder got more experience than you. So that becomes pride in itself. Okay, that's where we go in speaking about certain people that come in as novice. All right, somebody that is unlearned. Okay, you're not properly been raised up yet, though you're learning the precepts, but that's not it. That's not the end all be all. That's just the beginning of you having to explore and acknowledge yourself as an individual person, man. Okay? It says, with all lowliness and meekness, with long suffering, forbearing one another in love, endeavoring to keep the unity of the Spirit in the bond of peace. So you have to endeavor in keeping the unity of spirit in the bond of peace. Okay, so that's by you centering yourself, realigning yourself in the vocation that you have been called, meaning the word, being endowed with this wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. Okay, and taking heed unto the instructions that Yahweh Shai has given to you by way of the mouth of the prophets, the men of the Lord, and the highways and the byways that are going through it. You know what I'm saying? That been through it, that are that applied themselves, that told themselves in certain things, man. Okay? Now, if you don't have that understanding, the best thing to do is be quiet. Brothers will tell you that all day. If you don't know, the best thing to do is be quiet. All right? Because you're going to be found, pride is going to creep into you. This is in the book of Sirach. Let's see. This is Sirach. Let's see. Sirach 5 and 12. If it says, I'll start at Sirach 5 and 10. Be steadfast in thy understanding, right? So whatever understanding you've given, that you stay locked in at, right? Because you have to remember, whatever you've been given, the understanding, that is the measure of faith that Yahweh Shai has given you. Okay? And let me see. There's another script here in Timothy. This is 2 Timothy 3 and 14. But continue thou in the things which thou hast learned and hast been assured of, knowing of whom thou hast learned them. Okay? So my teachers, my elders are of great millstone. Elder Tahar, Gabar, Elder Ariyamla, and the brothers that trickle down within these camps. Those are my teachers. Those are the teachers I learned under. And by way of Yahweh Shai, the Spirit has endowed me with certain knowledge to go deeper into certain things. And that's just what it is. Okay? Now, like what I'm trying to get to is you don't want to be found this way, though. In the book of Jude, chapter 1, verse 1, it says, Jude, the servant of Yahweh Mashiach, and brother of James, to them that are sanctified by the Most High the Father, and preserved in Yahweh Mashiach and called. Because these men were handpicked. Now these men, right, Jude, which is another way to say Judah, which is thank the Most High, or praise the Most High. He was one of the original apostles, okay, which he was called. These men were handpicked to go onto the highways and the byways. And you don't think that these men were trying to be corrected and ministered unto by way of other men outside of what was taught by Yahweh Shai? They were even trying to teach Yahweh Shai. Yahweh Shai said, I came not to be ministered to, but to minister. Okay? The scriptures say, rebuke not an elder. That's pride coming out, man. Okay? There's a certain way us brothers go about it. And if you can't fall within that, it's going to be addressed and brought to the council. That's why it says in meekness and lowliness and meekness that you have to be in the unity of the Spirit of bond and peace. Because we're all supposed to be at peace. Okay? Yeah, you try to deviate out of that, that's where it becomes a problem. Jude 1 and 2, mercy unto you and peace and love be multiplied. Right? Because that's what we all hope. When we salute each other, Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai Bashem Rakakwadash Barakatah. Barakatah means bless you. Okay, so that's what we're doing. We're blessing you. We're putting a blessing upon you when we salute you. And that's right there, where 2 or 3 are gathered in my name, there I'm in the midst of them. So when the Yahweh Shai is in the midst of us, what is there supposed to be? Peace, not strife, not envy, not jealousy. And I sense that shit quick, and I don't like that kind of shit, man. Beloved, when I gave all diligence to write unto you of the common salvation, it was needful for me to write unto you, right? Because Even Paul said in his writing, he wrote those letters, but within those letters to these churches, the church of Corinth, Ephesus, etc., there were disputes, there were things going on within these churches that had to be addressed. Okay? That's why of late I've been saying in every organization, whether it be the body of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai, every worldly organization, you got disputes, you got arguments, you got all these different things going on, right, within these organizations in the world. So you have the same thing going with this inside the body of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai, man. But that's not the way it's supposed to be. You're supposed to check that shit, nip it in the butt, get rid of that excess fat, and cut it away if that's going to continue to be a problem. Okay? Again, being here in Great Millstone, there's order. And there's an order that we have to abide by, and that's falling under your ranks. Follow under the rank, and that's it. There's no trying to get out of that. Okay? There's no getting out of that. A brother we're gonna agree that yeah, all brothers are the same, but there's still order. You can't go past that. All right? It says you can't go to Yahweh unless you go through the Son. That's order in itself. You can't bypass Yahweh Shai. And there's people that don't believe in the New Testament. They believe in the Old Testament. They don't believe in Yahweh Shai. So they're going directly to Ahaya, Ashar, Ahaya, and going directly to him. Yeah, they call Yeshaya as Yahweh Shai's name, but what I'm trying to say is that you got people that go directly towards the Father instead of going to the Son. Okay? So there's order, there's rank that has to be, you have to go under, And one thing that, in this truth, there's no respecter of persons, okay? And you got certain brothers that they fall into that. Respecter of person, they get familiar, they think they can overstep those boundaries or, cross those certain lines, okay? And there's certain brothers, they're gonna rebuke you. They're gonna get on your ass quick. That's why you see a lot of these guys out here that are outside of GMS, those other camps. What are they always doing? They're bucking up. They're always making rebuttals. They're always going defending their cause, defending their doctrine, instead of falling in line and be like, Khan, Tawada, Salakia, that I missed that thing, and leaving it alone. Okay, not getting defensive, not being offended. Okay, and that's what you have a lot going on, because that goes back to your being carnal, man. All right, your carnality is getting the best of your flesh. It says, beloved, when I gave all diligence to write unto you of the common salvation, right? It is needful for me to write unto you and exhort you that you should earnestly contend for the faith which was once delivered unto the saints. So he's exhorting, and it's beautiful. That's the spirit, because I'm still gonna do the video, but I was gonna go into that word exhortation, okay? Because you got a lot of guys, they forget. How does it say? This is Hebrews 12:5. But ye have forgotten the exhortation which speaketh unto you as unto children. You have forgotten that, man. Okay? And a lot of people, there's guys in the world that they don't like to be corrected. Quit telling me what to do. Why you bossing me around? I already know how to do it. Hey, but you're missing something. Okay? That goes back to you being carnal, man. Your flesh. When you're trying to bulk up, you got a problem with somebody telling you something, and when you do that shit here within the brothers, that shit's gonna be taken care of. Okay, and if it's not gonna be quickly brought to somebody's attention. It's being watched, monitored. So that's why we make these videos to give warning, right? Exhortation also goes back to being warned. When you go into the word. It don't just stop at one definition. It says, and exhort you that you should earnestly contend for the faith which was once delivered unto the saints. Right? So we have to contend for the faith, which is what? and Yahweh Shai. Defend the gospel, which is Yahweh Shai's cause, what he unrighteously went through, man. All right. Yes, we also defend the image of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, the true baptism, things of this nature in our time. Going against the strongholds and casting down every vain imagination. Stuff like that in 2 Corinthians chapter 10. Yeah, but we're also defending the gospel, which is who? Yahweh Shai, the good news that he's coming back to deliver the Negro Latinos and Native American Indians. And that's all everything that we're trying to do. Right? We're all trying to gain salvation. And in order to receive salvation, you got to repent. You got to get right. It says, for there are certain men crept in unawares, who were before of old ordained to this condemnation, ungodly men turning the grace of our power into lasciviousness and denying the only Lord power and our Lord Yahweh Shai Mashiach. Right. So you're going to have certain men coming into this thing, and the scary thing about it is that we don't know who's who. In the sense of that, we don't know when it's, because what I'm trying to say is that you got guys that came in and they fell out. So in their mind, they thought, and other brothers thought they were going to be there forever until Yahweh Shai came back, but they're not. So those are those men that crept in unaware. Many are called, but few are chosen. And then some creep in, they come in, and they're causing discourse among brethren, stirring up strife. Being a busybody, whispering things into other brothers' ears because they were rebuked or told not to do something or told to do something. Okay? So this thing is for real. Okay? And you shall know them by their fruit. Their fruit is their actions, man. And it's not just what they do in the world. It's also when it comes to being told something, being instructed, corrected, rebuked, counseled, all that falls into that, man. It don't change. It don't just stop at, okay, do you believe in the Bible? Do you believe that you're a Negro, Latino, or Native American? Oh, can you b-boy? Can you dance? Can you draw? Can you rap? Freestyle? That's all simple shit. It goes deeper than that, man. It goes into the spirit. How are they going to react to this word? Because when you come out to the highways and the byways, one of the most important things that you're supposed to observe when you're preaching this word is how the individual is going to respond to the truth. Okay? How they're going to respond to the truth. And that's one way you can determine who's an Israelite or not. Okay? Or a 2/3. Or it could be not necessarily a friend of the prophets, but it's somebody that Yahweh Shai sealed up at that very moment. They walked away and they went on. They went on their way in peace. Everything was in peace. They heard what they had to hear and they went on their way. Okay. And that's one of the ways that you can determine by speaking the truth. Okay. A lot of people, they don't like the truth. They hate hearing the truth. It get cut. And to get cut, what does that bring forth? It brings forth different emotions, man. It shows forth an emotion. Some people cry and hold it and stuff like that. And some people get pissed off because they were cut. They start cussing and shit. And then, it says, going back over here to 2 Timothy 3 and 15, and that from a child thou hast known the holy scriptures, which are able to make thee wise unto salvation through faith which is in Yahweh Shai Mashiach. Okay, so you learn these scriptures as a child when you're reborn again, man. Okay, and that means you're gonna put on as that child with faith, putting away maliciousness, putting away the bullshit. Putting away that old man, putting away that attitude that nobody can tell you what to do. When it comes to the brotherhood, that you fall under that servitude, we all submissive and we all fall under that towards one another. It's not just handing out money or buying somebody food. It's also taking counsel, taking correction. All scripture is given by inspiration of the Most High and is profitable for doctrine, for reproof, correction, for instruction in righteousness, that the man of the Most High may be perfect, thoroughly furnished unto all good works. Okay? And that's all it is. It ain't nothing. You know what I'm saying? It's nothing to be ashamed of, to be corrected in the way of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua. Because we're all trying to be perfect when Yahushua comes back. We want to be thoroughly furbished, you know, sharp, you know, watching, being circumspect, you know. You don't want to be out there like fucking lukewarm, half-assed, you know. There's things that I'm still learning to this very day, man. We're all learning, but it's your attitude, how you go about receiving it, right? Your conversation. When you read about the conversation in the scriptures, it goes back to your conduct, anastrophe. Matter of fact, you bring it out that way. I can, scriptures say, prove all things, right? Look up that word conversation. And let me see. I'm going to choose the one in 1 Peter 1:15. And I'm just going to read it. It says, but as he which hath called you is holy, so be ye holy in all manner of conversation. Okay? Which we know the word holy means to be separate. Okay? So we're being separated from the rest of the world. You know? When the rest of the world, they run to every evil, towards every evil. The scriptures say, run not towards evil with the, how does it say in Exodus 20? Basically, it's saying run not with the multitude towards evil, okay? Because holy means to be separate. So it says in all manner of conversation and a strophe. All right. It says outline of biblical usage, a manner of life, conduct, behavior, and deportment. Okay. So that's how it's about how you receive it, the correction, the rebuke, the counsel. Okay. Now, if you come back with an attitude, a rebuttal, or a sense of a sense of pride, arrogancy, and speaking condescendingly, that's a problem, man. That's a big ass problem. Okay, because that's what the Most High is looking at. That's what brothers are looking. How is his brother reacting, responding to this certain thing that was put out? Okay, how's he maneuvering within this? That's one of the way you test the spirits. It's not just by if somebody can dance, yo. You know, that's being simple. The scriptures say you know not the way you ought to know. You know what I'm saying? It says the strongest definition: behavior, conversation. So it's not your speech; it's your conversation, your conduct, how you react to this manner of life. Okay, to the calling that you've been brought into, right? Which I'm going to bring it out, that one doctrine, one baptism, one spirit, and one name under heaven that you shall be saved by, which is Yahweh Shai. Now Yahweh Shai said to be brotherly, okay, to be he washed the apostles' feet, man. You know, so we have to display that same conduct amongst ourselves. What Yahweh Shai would have done, okay. But you have to understand there's an order, because even Yahweh Shai said his disciples are not greater than master, but it's enough for them to be as the master. because Yahweh Shai told them that they're going to do greater things than what they saw. Okay, but they're not above Yahweh Shai. You know, we're made joint heirs unto Him. Okay, but there's still an order within that. It cannot be crossed. In the Thayer's Greek lexicon, it says, properly walk, that is manner of life, behavior, conduct. So to walk doesn't mean how you walking. It's not literal. It's your how you maneuver, how you react to this manner of life, this lifestyle, which is that renewing of the mind, right? Once you got right with Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, you set your house in order. You have a conduct you have to fulfill. All right, putting on as the hopeful elect. Okay. And then I got the same anastropho. Instead of it being anastrophe, it's anastropho, which it says a metaphor to conduct oneself, behave oneself, live. Okay, so that's what that word means, man. It says to conduct oneself, behave oneself. So whenever this word is spoken to an individual person on the highways and the byways, we always watch how is this person about to react when we tell them something. You can see it in their demeanor, you can see it in their body language, or you may not. It takes a little bit of time, and then that demon will manifest itself. When that demon manifests itself, that's when you point it out and you direct it. Okay? Same thing with brothers. Demons will hop on brothers. You know, and you have to cast them out. You have to fast. You have to, make things right. But pride is a motherfucker. Pride will get your ass into a whole lot of trouble, a whole lot of things that you ain't ready for, man. All right. It says, let's see. But yeah, that's what the word conversation means. Your conduct. You know, how you're gonna maneuver, how you're gonna behave yourself within this truth. You know, if you're gonna have that feeling of remorse of your conduct that you had did prior, and that leads you to the fulfilling of the whole measure of repentance. Okay. All right. Ephesians 4 and 4, there is one body and one spirit, even as you are called in one hope of your calling, one Lord, one faith, one baptism, and one God and Father of all, who is above all and through all in all you. But unto every one of us is given grace according to the measure of the gift of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. Okay. So there's only one what does it say? One Lord, one faith, one baptism, right? One God, one Father. Okay, which is Yahweh Shai. And there's only one doctrine, man. The spirit of prophecy, which is His word, you know, but can be a stumbling block. Okay? But in itself, you can be a stumbling block to your own self, man. You're carnal, you're not comparing spiritual things with spiritual things. You know, it's very important that you take heed of these things, man. You examine. You have to examine every enterprise, everything that comes to the that's presented to you. You gotta examine it. Right? Let me see. Let me see if I can find that one in the book of Sirach. Let's see. I think it says something like that. I know it says enterprise. This is one. This is Sirach 11 and 7. Blame not before thou hast examined the truth. Understand first and then rebuke. Answer not before thou hast heard the cause. Neither interrupt men in the midst of their talk. Okay. Let me see if I can find that other one. And we're coming into times, man. Like we're in a heavy time right now because every time we get closer to Yahweh Shai's return, things are becoming more pressures being applied upon this earth. Because Yahweh Shai is coming from the heavens, man. His holiness, his righteousness. And what do you think is gonna happen down here? Wickedness is gonna try to combat. It's gonna try to push against it, man. And we're still in this flesh, this body. You know, we're still in the wicked kingdom of Esau, man. You know? Yeah. I'm not finding it. Oh, come. This is Sirach 37 and 16. Let reason go before every enterprise and counsel before every action. Okay? So it says, let reason go before every enterprise and counsel before every action. So you're supposed to, take heed to those things, man. You know?